Hey guys, so following my last video and finishing the Act 1, today I continue my journey through the Path of the Exile and start making my way through the Act 2 of the game. Now, before anything else, I'd like to thank you all for supporting and helpful comments on my previous video. I received so many tips from you that it was overwhelmingly wholesome to see the whole community trying to help me out as a new player. As many as you have mentioned, this game is beyond anything else at being unfriendly to a new player. As much as I like to explore everything for myself, but I was able to see that what I'm leveling in the skill tree and what skills I am using, they just don't match at all. So I went on Google to see what lightning skills should I use, and I did stumble upon this little great guide. Actually, it's more like a checklist of what not to miss, which for a completely new player, it was extremely helpful. Compared to YouTube videos where people just mostly list off gear for high-level players, for you as a new player is not exactly helpful at all. This, on the other hand, is like a checklist of stuff not to miss and goals to achieve, which is super helpful and easy to understand and follow along. I also did find out that a build that I'm aiming for is actually called Arc Lighting, so that was also a little cool discovery. And now let's get into the video and see how my journey went. So as you can see, after I defeated this boss, I went on exploring this dungeon a little bit further, even though I didn't have to do it. Then I found this couple of chests. They were cool, but they didn't drop anything exciting. I thought they would, but they didn't. After I took care of them, I found some more bosses in this dungeon. Again, pretty cool. I like to explore things. I found this old waypoint that used to exist probably sometime in the past. I don't know the lore too much. Afterwards, I level up my skills a little bit more and I moved out of this dungeon. As a reward, this time I didn't take HP or mana potions. I took the Quicksilver potion, as many as you have mentioned. Yeah, as you can see, I rearranged my potions, so now I have some buffs and everything, not just mana and HP. Afterwards I continued doing quests. I found the second guy that I need to kill. I killed him. And once I killed this guy, this dude from the start of the Act 2 appeared again and we went on a monster hunt again. I don't mind it was fun. We killed this beast, he didn't drop anything exciting. Afterwards I moved on into these dungeons again. I found Helena here, she told me to kill the beast in the dungeon. I moved forward and I cleared the dungeon. The beast wasn't as strong as I thought it would be. It wasn't exactly a challenge for me. I talked to Helena again and she told me to return to the city. But I didn't. I actually went to do this Ascendancy quest. Honestly, I don't exactly know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to get. From what I understand, there's more of them and maybe by the end of it I'm gonna get something. I have no idea. I'm just doing them because I am being showed to do them, but I have no idea why I'm doing them. They're not too difficult, they don't take too much of time, so it's fine, I don't mind too much. Now as a reward I took this skill for myself, and as I mentioned before, I looked up what skills I need to take from quests, so now I took the right stuff that I need to, and this further improved my skills. I went out to test it out, and as you can see I was quite a bit stronger by now. This arc stuff is actually quite nice, like I'm really strong, and I have huge AoE, so I clear stuff easily. I found these vines, but for some reason I wasn't able to access them yet. So I went on further and I found this guy. This is another guy that I need to kill, and unfortunately for him, you know, I had a mission. I'm going to do it. Nothing personal, man. From there onwards I moved to this other dungeon that was a little bit creepy. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of spiders, just like many people. I do have a little bit of a phobia of them, so I did creep out a little bit here, but at least this is not a first person view, so it's not too bad, but still, not a fan of spiders, not gonna lie, but I can live with it. Again, it wasn't a big challenge or anything. By now I did feel quite a little bit stronger than I was before with the right gear and everything. I mean, I say right, but you know, as right as I can be. That doesn't say too much, but still. As you can see now, I linked the third chain to my weapon and I added even more support skills to it. So by now I was getting stronger and stronger. That checklist did help me out a lot with these things, and even though it doesn't show how to link and stuff, but at least it tells you to do that and you can figure it out for yourself. I did do some more forgeable stuff, but by now I completely wasn't afraid of them. I just went to brutal or insane, whatever it said there. I wasn't bothered by it anymore. Not that it's easy, sometimes I still die, but it's not a big deal anymore. If I die, I just come back. From there onwards, I killed another dude. I think this was the last guy that I needed to kill. Again, nothing personal, I have a mission. I did continue to upgrade my skills, as you can see. I finished my other quests, I got the passive skill points, which I don't need yet, but considering how I'm upgrading everything, I'm probably gonna need at some point. And as always, I continue my way into these dungeons. I did another crucible, like before I went to brutal. Unfortunately this time I wasn't as lucky, those guys got me, no big deal, I went back, I cleared them again, there's not much they can do to me, it's fine. And yet again I found another Ascendancy quest that, again, no idea why I need to do it, but you know, if I need to do it, I need to do it, no big deal, I'll do it. At least it's not killing other monsters, so it's kind of fun to do some puzzles on the side. Once I finished the Ascendancy, I moved on to this dungeon. When I went to the end of the dungeon, I was attacking these monsters and of course my lightning hit the boss as well, and actually the boss was quite weak. Even before I got to him he was dead. I only realized I was killing him and he was already dead. Took my reward from the quest and I continued my way to the dungeons. But now I was able to access the vines. I moved inside and I made my way through the dungeon. The dungeon wasn't difficult or anything, I was clearing it pretty easily, but I did find my first good chest and I finally have a decent chest to upgrade to. Even the game for the first time showed me gear upgrade, so it's probably decent at least. From then onwards I continued making my way through the dungeon. Like in the first act, this was a series of dungeons. I had to go back to the town and for some reason the whole town was in the dark, I don't know why, but doesn't really matter too much I suppose. And I continue my way to the dungeons again. As you can see, clearing the mobs and making my way through dungeons wasn't a big deal by now. Once I arrived at this place I found Helena, and this was our new hideout. I wasn't sure exactly what a hideout is, but once I cleared all the monsters, I was able to build my hideout and place a crafting table in there, and finally access a crafting table. As you can see, I didn't have too much to build, whatever I had I built. Once I accessed the crafting table, there was a whole bunch of options, but most of them were locked. I only had a few available. So I did decide to put one option on my helmet, because I needed to do a quest, so I had to do something. It was just a little bit more health, but again, it's helpful, anything is helpful. On my way through the dungeons I found this guy, I killed him, he wasn't a big deal at all, even though he looked like one. I continued to upgrade my skills and I continued to move my way through these dungeons. Once I arrived here I found this crafting table with a recipe. Don't know what it is, haven't checked it out yet, but I found this corrupt dungeon, which is supposed to be stronger I think, but I don't know, it wasn't anything strong. I cleared it no problem at all, and it didn't drop anything exciting or anything, so yeah, it looked scary, but it wasn't. After that I moved my way through the stairs, a whole bunch of stairs, and I moved to the very top of this dungeon, and at the very top of this dungeon I found the boss of Act 2. Now I have to say, even though I didn't die, but this was quite a challenge. This boss was quite a little bit harder than anything else before. Even though I did felt like I was a little bit over leveled by now, but this boss still gave me quite a challenge. It wasn't impossible or anything, like I said I didn't die, but it was definitely difficult. I nearly died multiple times. I had to run along and use my potions quite often. I was very squishy, but at the same time I was dealing a lot of damage. For some reason, even though I have my skills on W, my hand keeps pressing S and I keep opening the wrong menu for some reason. I don't know, I might need to rearrange my skills. It was a little bit annoying, but I managed to survive anyway. Once I killed this beast, it dropped quite a little bit of stuff. Unfortunately, nothing good for me, nothing my style, no vents or anything with energy life or that sort of stuff, but that's okay, we'll find more of it. Once I moved out, I finally saw what it looked like. It was pretty cool looking, to be honest. From there onwards, I made my way to the city of Act 3. I found this dude on my way, I did help him. For some reason, he was stuck in here, I don't know why. I helped him, I freed him, and I moved on my way. Once I got into the city, it immediately felt a lot more grand than the first two acts did. And so, this was my journey through the Act 2 of the game. Overall, this took me maybe like 4 or 5 hours or so. Not too short, not too long, it was enjoyable. I'm pretty sure I did a bunch of not needed quests, since by the end of it I did feel a bit overleveled because I started to just clear everything out with ease by the end of the act. But I completely did not mind it. I enjoyed every quest, visiting every area, going through every dungeon. I had fun doing it, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Just have fun and enjoy the game. As far what I have learned and achieved through the Act 2, I would say it's a decent amount. I've learned how to properly link skills and use my tokens on the items. I've learned what skills are supporting and what are the main attack ones and how to use them. I've learned that my build is called Arc Lighting, and now I have at least a slight idea of where I'm going. I've learned that element resistance is one of the most important things for me, and that I need to get at least 75% in each of them. However, I've yet to learn how to achieve that. I did stop using all my potion slots on just mana and HP potions, and I continue to slowly further understand the mechanics of the game and all that it has to offer for me. As far as the items I have, as you can see, this is what we have right now. This is what I managed to gather by the end of the Act 2. I would say it's a decent gear. I mean, I know it's not great, but for me, at least it makes some amount of sense by now. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna make even more sense by the end of the Act 3 and other acts as well. All in all, I would say that's decent progress so far. Now that the Act 2 is behind us, it's time to start working our way through the Act 3. But before I do that, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video if you enjoyed going with me on this journey. As for a small creator like me, those things mean a lot, as to make these videos from start to finish, it can take multiple days since everything I do myself, I film myself, I edit myself, I make the thumbnails and everything myself. That is a lot of effort and I appreciate if you can support me. And as always, I do appreciate you watching the video all the way through the end. You are awesome and I will see you on the next episode of this journey. Bye bye.